And joining us now, Jared Bernstein, a member of the White House Council of Economic Advisors. Jared, it's great to see you. So overall, a good report. Private sector employment recovering, all the jobs lost during the pandemic. That's good news. But so what areas of concern do you have?
Well, first of all, before we jump to areas of concern, which we will and we must, let us underscore a bit your opening points. I mean, we have one of the most remarkable labor market recoveries, and as all this gray hair on my head shows, I've been doing this for a long time. The bounce back in jobs after the pandemic-induced recession has been the fastest on record. As you mentioned, private sector employment now not just back to where it was pre-pandemic, but above. We have many industries. Manufacturing, by the way, is a real success story that have been surpassing their pre-pandemic job counts. And I think that's really important that we have this welcoming job market, this very strong backdrop, because we know, this is why it's at the core of Bidenomics, that middle-class families depend on a strong job market to get their fair share of the growing economy. And that's particularly important with elevated inflation, getting right to your issue of concerns.
What about the wage gains, up 5.1% from a year ago?
Yeah. So I think one of the important points there is that we know that economy watchers, including the Fed, are watching the pace of wage gains, what the president's goal is. And interestingly, it's the same goal that Jay Powell articulates, the chair of the Fed, is to maintain this strong labor market backdrop that you and I were just discussing, the strongest labor market recovery on record, while doing everything we can to bring down those prices. The Federal Reserve is the first line of defense against high inflation. We're doing everything we can. We're very glad to see some of the declines at the pump, essential for working Americans. Way more to go there. Our work isn't done by a long shot, but those are welcome. I think on the wage front, a point that probably hasn't been emphasized today is that the pace of wage gains, if you look at quarterly rates, actually slowed a bit in the second quarter, from 5.2% in the first quarter to 4.3% in the second quarter. That deceleration is very much in the spirit of what the president is talking about when he talks about transitioning from a breakneck pace economic growth to one that's a more steady, stable transition.
Now, there's still such a big demand for workers. You've got nearly 2 jobs available for every person looking for work. What is your read on that? Why is it so hard to fill these jobs?
Labor demand is remarkably strong. If you look at the payroll numbers that we've been talking about, 372,000 last month. That's a pace of 375,000 for the past 3 months on average. Here at CEA, we like to average out some of the bips and bops in the monthly data. If you add on top of that over 11 million vacancies, what you quickly understand is that labor demand is really quite high. And look, the basic economics of this are important and interesting. Labor demand is derived demand. It's demand that comes from people wanting more services, wanting more goods, wanting restaurants, wanting exercise bikes, wanting vacations. And one of the reasons that we have a consumer sector that's been as strong as it is dates right back to the rescue plan, the American Rescue Plan. By getting shots in arms and checks in pockets back when this president first got here, we set the stage for a robust recovery. And that meant that consumer strength was going to need labor market workers to fill in behind that, and that's what we've seen. Now, at the same time, we have elevated prices, and again, that at this point is in no small part being driven by the war in Ukraine. We have to do everything we can to help bring down those prices. But we shouldn't forget, amidst those inflation concerns, about this very strong consumer backdrop, good household balance sheets, and of course, these very strong and steady job gains.
And I do want to ask you about oil prices, because the oil prices are down somewhat in the past week. That's showing up at the pump already. So that's a good thing about inflation. Does that give you any kind of nervousness about recession?
I think if you want to talk about recession nervousness, you should look at today's jobs report. Numbers like this are just very much inconsistent with any kind of a recession call. If you talk to the folks who actually measure recessions, that's the They're called the NBER Business Cycle Dating Committee, which sounds like a Lonely Hearts Club for economists, but it's actually a group of economists who are trying to figure out when recessions start and end. They will tell you that payroll employment is a very important factor in that judgment. And so when you're generating 350,000 jobs on average for the past quarter, not recessionary. Now, look, at the pump, we're very glad to see these prices come down, and the president has done a lot of work to try to help. Of course, there's the release of oil barrels from the Strategic Reserve, historically large release, 240 million barrels in tandem with other countries. There's his E15 ethanol waiver to increase the supply of gas. Those are in the mix, along with some of the some demand factors that are putting some downward pressure on oil and gas prices. But those kinds of savings for consumers are important. However, those prices are still very highly, we'd say too highly elevated.